All right, Sean, thanks for the video. There's some good stuff in there. We got a couple things we need to clean up. Kind of our agenda is setup, understanding setup. On the backswing, we need to talk about the stiffness in your shoulder joints is hurting you a little bit. The path of the face and the squareness of the face on the way back looks pretty good. Up top looks pretty good. We definitely need to talk about your lower body. So we'll get into that. First thing with your setup, when I watch you set up, your knees are out over your kind of the ball of your foot just a little bit, and your hips are maybe just a little bit back. More than anything, everything's just kind of real vertical. When that happens, it makes you on your toes a little bit more than you want to be, so your toes are grabbing a little bit, and it definitely affects your posture. That's why your hands are so close. So when I look at you in your posture, we kind of get in there a little bit, and our back's curved a little bit, and our hands are really in, so we don't have a lot of room to work in the first place. And you can tell you're going to get a little closer to the golf ball in the full swing when we kind of move into it. So the first thing that we want to do is make sure we've got to get you off your toes. When I watch a really good player, if anything, they're more off their heels or in their back seat. So when we get done with this, you're going to feel, if you're going to err, I'd rather you feel like you're definitely more on your heels, so you're not moving into the golf ball. Anytime you're moving into the ball, you're getting in the way of the golf club in your arms, and that's why we're mishitting it a little bit. So the first thing that we have to do is I need to shift your hips about six inches approximately back. Your knees are going to fall right over your ankle joints a little bit more, but you're going to feel like you're way back here. You're going to feel again that your feet are up a little bit closer to the golf ball. Your hands are going to go up a little bit more. So you're going to start to see how much more room I have, Sean, with this. So you can see I can feel my heels down. I can feel my hamstrings, my glutes a little bit more. So you can see my knees more over my ankle joints. My hips I'm sitting back here. And the reason I need to feel like I'm sitting back, so when I swing back, see my right hip can go away from the golf ball a little bit more and not get closer to it. When you were swinging before here, Now we get about right here, you can see this right toe light up. And your left hip would get closer to the golf ball, then on the way down, we get closer to the golf ball again. The picture that you sent me, or the swing that you sent me, we hit it off the toe. So here's exactly what happened with that. Shoulder joints were really tight, so really rigid up here. Posture, again, a little bit. Hands were in too close, everything was really crowded. So we swing back, we get here, shoulder joints were a little tight, we moved into it. And then on the way down, we really went into it. You're like, gosh, well, if I'm moving into the ball, how the heck am I going to hit it off the toe? Well, here's what has to happen. John, we move into it this way, so you've got to pull your arms in. And we end up hitting it on the toe. So basically what we need is to get into that posture. Let's talk about your lower body first, and we'll talk about your shoulder joint second. So the lower body, and here's the thing, without the posture, your lower body is not really going to be available. So once we get into your posture, your hips are going to set back, your feet are going to be up a little bit more. Okay, so when you look at your right hip, Sean, when it goes a little bit deeper, okay, you never want it to get any closer into the golf ball. So it's going to go deep into here and deep into here. So you're going to feel, again, like my right hip's going to move back and my left hip's going to move back. So that's, if I had a bag here, and I put this bag here, so you're going to feel, Sean, again, when I move back into it, see my right hip's going to move back into it, and then when I swing, my left hip's going to move back into it. So if I can stay back on that bag, see, it gives room for my arms to swing through. Okay? So, again, as you swing back, you're going to feel right hip moves back a little bit more, okay? Then left hip moves back a little bit more. Now here's what I don't see with any really good player. Wherever you start with your right hip here, when they get back into impact, their right hip does not move closer to the ball. So the right hip stays back into here. If anything, you can see that they're going to move away from the golf ball, so that makes room for their hands and arms to swing. Okay, so that's what your lower body's going to do. So one thing that you can feel, or a drill that you can feel for that, now let's take your left foot, right foot back. Left foot, right foot back, and just feel like you make swings where you're going to feel your right hip move back and kind of stays back. It allows my arms to swing down in front of me. So right hip back, and it's going to stay back. So again, you set up into your posture. Okay, so feet are going to be a little bit closer. Hips are going to be back. Now you're going to feel your hips stay back a little bit more. So again, you're just going to feel your hips stay back, so it's going to go back and stay there. So again, back and stay there. Okay. Now, so we fixed your posture. Talked about your lower body. So again, not moving into it, but feeling like the best players feel like they're actually trying to move away from the ball, so that makes room for their arms to swing. Now with your shoulder joints, the best thing that you can do is that A, feel the head of the golf club, okay? So if I can feel this head and just give it a little waggle, usually it kind of loosens me up in here a little bit, Sean. So again, what you want to feel is that when you're swinging, and this is for every shot, Sean, when you're swinging, you want to feel like your arms are almost like lifeless, they're almost like wet noodles. So if I took the club back here and stopped, see, I've got to put pressure in my arms to hold that club up. Now, what I feel like when I'm swinging, my arms would go down. See, the weight of the club would just go down. The thing that keeps the club up in the air is the momentum of it. Okay, so when you swing, I get the momentum moving this way. This is why the swing doesn't stop. There's no top of the swing. So there's a start and a finish. So when you swing, the golf club moves back and through, back and through. See, I'm just directing the momentum of the golf club. So I almost feel like I'm swinging level. I'm not trying to hit down into this golf ball because that's going to put pressure on me. As I swing down, the bottom of the golf club, see, the arc hits the ground and the weight of the club takes the head down to the ground, okay? But the club can't work right if I've got so much pressure in my shoulder joints. It's just like any other sport. Sean, if I were to shoot a basketball, see, the softness in my shoulders allow my arms to work. Or if I was going to throw a baseball or a football, my shoulders letting my arms react. That's part of the reason why we hit it on the toe. Again, we move into it, and with all that pressure in your shoulder joints, see, the club's moving in. You know, one of the biggest things that I get people to stop tensing up is when I, again, put it to another sport, but anytime you feel tension, you're really putting the brakes on in the swing. Anytime you tighten the muscle, it cannot move as fast as, you know, its potential can. So, to kind of go over that, what you want to do is flip the golf club upside down, grip it right under the head, and just make some swings. You can see now when I swing, you know, I'm just letting kind of the momentum and everything is real. So you're not going to get real tight with flipping the golf club upside down. Okay. Now when I flip it back over, I can feel the head of the club. I can feel the weight. So again, you grip it here at this end of the club, but you feel this and you feel this, okay? So you gotta be soft enough to do that. So again, when you swing, yes, my shoulder joints are moving, but see, they're reacting to the club. Okay, now if I start tightening my shoulder joints, see, I have to move the club. I can't use the momentum anymore, and it restricts the motion of the face. So, in review, we've got your setup. So you're going to feel your feet get a little closer. Your hips go back a little bit more. Okay, that's going to feel like it puts you on your heels a little bit. You just want your toes resting. You don't want them lifting. You don't want them grabbing. You just want them resting. What I'd have you do is feel like you sit back here, get your toes to lift a little bit, and then just put them on the ground just slightly. So they're just resting. Okay, get your grip. So our feet a little closer. We're going to sit back a little bit. So your hands get up in the air a fraction more. And you can see how that's helped my posture back here now. So again, you're softer in your shoulder joints. The other thing that you can do with your shoulder joints, John, before you get ready to go, either waggle, that puts the head of the club in your hands, or try to put the butt end of the grip into your stomach. See, if I can't do this, my shoulder joints are way too tight. So again, feel like we get ready to go here. Get in your posture. Shoulder joints are good. Now I'm just going to direct the momentum of the club. See, my hip's going to go away, and I'm not going to move any closer into the ball. So it becomes real soft up here, and my right hip's working back, and my left hip's working back. So I'm not working into the golf ball. So I'm not in the way of my swing and my golf club and my arm. So work on those three things, Sean, and I know that'll help you tremendously. That'll even help in your short game. So again, thanks for the swing, and I hope that helps.